So how can you increase your chances of getting a good mortgage rate, particularly if you're self-employed as well as employed?
So specifically to that, so self-employment, it's important that you have ideally at least 2 years of accounts. The odd lender does look at just 1 year. And what they're going to do is most lenders is average out those 2 years and would want to see an increasing trend on the profits that the company is making and the income that's been drawn from it. If it's a declining trend, then the lender's going to use the latest year. As mentioned before, loan to value is also going to impact the rate that you get when you come to remortgage. So it may be worth ensuring if you're coming up to remortgage, you try and get into a low one if possible. And like you also mentioned, Lauren, so for credit purposes before, it's important that you have a good credit score. So things like making sure you're in the electoral roll and actually ensuring you do not miss any payments. And this way, more lender options will become available to you.
So if you are in an existing mortgage deal and then you change jobs and you move from employed to self-employed, is that going to impact you when it comes to remortgaging?
Most of the time it is, because what lenders are going to want to see is there's a good track record of self-employment there. Because they could naturally, with self-employment, you could have a good month, but then later on down the line that could change. So that's why lenders want to see typically a 2-year track record when you do go self-employed.
So in that instance, if you were thinking about potentially going self-employed at some point, it may be a good idea to make sure that you can build up your income history before potentially applying for a remortgage.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And obviously, naturally, going to have to work harder to do that. But yeah, lenders are going to be looking at that history. So looking at your company accounts, or if you're a sole trader, looking at your tax calculations and tax year overviews for the last couple of years.
But as you've said previously, I imagine your mortgage broker is probably the best person to speak to in that instance, are they? So that they can advise how long you need to wait and what your options are?
Yeah, absolutely right. And every lender is slightly different as well. So if you don't quite have that 2-year history, there may be the odd lender out there that can actually help you. So then the mortgage broker will actually be able to look at those options for you. Another one as well is when someone's a sole trader, when they're self-employed, they might then switch to go to a limited company. So then some lenders out there will actually take a view on this. So you wouldn't need necessarily in that scenario to have a full 2-year history, and they may be able to go off an accountant's reference, something like that, or a shorter term, say just 1 year of going into a limited company from a sole trader setup.